Way up high in the Himalayas, there's this incredible stone temple. For over 1,000 years, it's weathered everything you can imagine: avalanches, earthquakes, you name it. This is the story of Kedarnath, a place of deep faith and an even deeper mystery. So that begs the question, right? How does a structure this old manage to survive in one of the toughest environments on the planet when everything else around it has crumbled? Well, the answer is this amazing mix of ancient legend, brilliant engineering, and, yeah, what a lot of people would call a touch of the divine. And to really get a grip on this story, you first have to picture where this place is. It's tucked away at a mind-boggling 11,755 feet in the Garhwal Himalayan range. That kind of altitude is no joke. It tests the limits of human endurance and construction. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with why it's such an enigma, then dive into the incredible legend of its origins. After that, we'll look at the genius engineering, relive its miraculous survival, and finally explore what this journey means to people today. First things first, let's talk about why Kedarnath is so important. This isn't just any old temple. We're talking about one of the holiest pilgrimage sites in all of Hinduism, a place dedicated to the powerful god Lord Shiva. The spiritual weight of this place is just massive. It's one of only 12 sacred Jyotirlingas, where Lord Shiva is said to have appeared as a pillar of light. It's also a major stop on 2 huge pilgrimage circuits. And get this, because the weather up there is so extreme, the temple is only open for about 6 months of the year. In the winter, they actually move the deity down to a warmer temple in Ukimat. Now, the origin story of the temple itself is just incredible. It's woven right into one of India's greatest epics, the Mahabharata. And it all starts with 5 heroic brothers, the Pandavas, who are on a quest to be forgiven. You see, after a really devastating war, the Pandavas felt just awful for having killed their own family members. So they went looking for Lord Shiva to atone for their sins. But Shiva, well, he was pretty upset about all the violence and wanted absolutely nothing to do with them. So what does Shiva do? He disguises himself as a bull to hide in a herd. But the Pandavas were sharp. They figured it out. Just as they're about to catch him, Shiva tries to disappear right into the ground to escape. One of the brothers grabs onto the bull's rear, and while the rest of the body vanishes, the hump gets left behind on the surface, right there at Kedarnath. But the story doesn't stop there. The other parts of Shiva's bull form supposedly reappeared in 4 other locations across the Himalayas, and as you can see here, a temple was built at each site. Together, they make up a sacred circuit called the Panch Kedar, or 5 Kedars, with each temple representing a different part of the divine bull. Okay, so we've covered the myth, but now let's get into the tangible, physical temple itself. Because honestly, whether you believe it was built by epic heroes or just really, really smart humans, the construction is pure genius. So while the legend says the Pandavas built it, historical clues point to the great philosopher Adi Shankaracharya building or renovating the current structure back in the 8th century. The real truth? We're not exactly sure of its age. It's an unsolved mystery. But we know for a fact it's been standing strong for well over 1,200 years. And this right here is the secret to how it's lasted so long. It's brilliant. The temple is built from these massive, super heavy stone slabs that are interlocked, kind of like a giant 3D jigsaw puzzle. There's no mortar, no cement. And that's the key. It allows the whole building to kind of shift and flex during earthquakes or under tons of snow, making it way more durable than a rigid structure. And when you go inside, there's another really unique feature. The main idol, the shivling, isn't the usual cylinder shape you might see elsewhere. Nope, it's a triangular rock formation, believed to be the actual hump of that divine bull from the legend. So all this ancient resilience, it faced its biggest modern challenge in 2013, in an event that would cement the temple's legend for a whole new generation. So in June 2013, a glacial lake way up above the temple burst its banks. It unleashed a catastrophic flash flood. First came the mudslides, then a huge torrent of water, and then a second, even more devastating wave of water, rocks, and debris came crashing down the valley. The force was just unimaginable. The entire town built up around the temple, hotels, shops, houses, it was all wiped away in moments. It was a terrible tragedy. But in the middle of all that devastation, the ancient temple was still standing. So how? How did it survive?
Well, this is where the story takes a turn that many people call a straight-up miracle. A colossal boulder, carried by the flood, slammed to a halt directly behind the temple. This rock, now called Bhimshila, acted like a perfect shield. It split the deadly current of water and debris, diverting it around the temple and saving it from the worst of the impact.
And as you can imagine, that incredible story of survival has only made the pilgrimage to Kedarnath more profound for the millions of people who make the journey today. And it's a journey that has always been a major test of body and soul. Yeah, getting to Kedarnath is no walk in the park. The trip involves a steep, challenging 16-kilometer trek that's about 10 miles, all uphill from the last town with a road. For a lot of people, that physical struggle is part of the point. It mirrors the inner spiritual journey. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? For the pilgrims, this journey isn't just about reaching a physical place. It's about the transformation that happens inside you along the way, about letting go of ego and strengthening your faith. So in the end, we come back to that first big question. What is it that makes Kedarnath endure? Is it the power of an ancient story, the brilliance of its forgotten engineering, or the protective hand of a divine will? Maybe the real answer isn't about choosing just one. Maybe its true power lies in how all three are woven together. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. See you in the next one.